Okay, so I was talking with some of my gun enthusiast friends and reloading buddies, and we were discussing primer loading. And most of you probably know this, but surprisingly, a lot of my friends didn't. That you can load the primers on the press. I have a single stage press. I also have a turret press. I have primer loaders for each one. Uh, I don't use one on the turret press because I do my priming uh, offline. When I've got a few minutes here and there, I'll prime a few. So I don't do the priming uh, on the turret press. I do the sizing, powder charge, and use my Lee auto drum for some powders. For some powders, it doesn't work good. But anyway, the topic here, if I can stay on topic, is primers. So I have the Lee bench primer, which I like for the most part. The problem is their little primer tray doesn't hold a full tray of primers. Uh, if you unfold it all the way, you might can get a tray in there without spilling them, but I haven't been able to do it. I'm not the clumsiest person but in the world, but I'm not the most graceful either. I have uh, big stubby fingers from working farm work all my life, and as I get older, they're getting stiff, so they don't like this Lee primer tray as much. And the other problem, I like my RCBS. I've got the RCBS hand primer. I like it if I'm only doing a few, especially rifle cartridges. Sometimes I like it. I find that pistol cartridges tend to slip out of these jaws if you're just not real careful putting them in there, especially the 380s that I've been loading. Little 380 rims are not very substantial, and they'll slip out of these jaws if you get in too big a hurry. So anyway, I like the bench primer good enough, but I didn't like their Lee's feeding system, so I modified my RCBS primer tray to work in it. I did a little filing on the end of the tray. You can't really see it. It doesn't take much, just a little bit of sanding. And the RCBS primer tray will go right in there. Actually, I think it was this one I modified that I'm using in it. But anyway, so another problem that a lot of people have mentioned to me is getting the primers to stay in the tray and flipped over. Now with CCI primers, and I like CCI primers, and I like the way they package them. CCI primers come in a flat package. Let's see if I can get these large rifles out easier. They're already open. So the CCI primers come already in a flat case. You can see that. So case is flat, pretty easy to drop them like I just did that one. Pretty easy to put them in the primer tray. Some of them may still be upside down, but you can usually shake a couple of them back. The problem with the RCBS is when you snap the trays together and you put the two lids together, you get the primers in there, you make sure your gate's shut so that the primers don't roll out. You snap this in there, you shake all your primers, you get them all nice and flat like I've got these. As you can see this one, they're all nice and flat in there. But when you snap the tray, a lot of times you snap this tray and boom, and then primers turn over before you get the tray snapped all the way. So what I found is, if I can get this phone where I can video while I do this, I found a simple little trick to keep these primers in the tray, especially the Federal primers come in this big box. It's 3 times bigger than it has to be, and the primers are oriented on their side so they roll. So what I figured out is you take your RCBS green tray and get this camera angle right. So you just put the tray on top, you flip the primers over. That's half the battle. Okay, so now they're in there. Now when you take this off, half of them are going to be upside down. Half of them are going to be right side up. So you do the shaky thing and you get the primer's all turned over. It takes a minute or two, especially CCI. You usually only get one or two that are upside down, but the Federal, you'll get about half or more of them that are upside down. And I got one. You always have one that doesn't want to turn over. Okay, so I got all of those. These are Federal match small pistol primers that I'm fixing to load in some 9mm. So I've got them all in the tray. Now, if you will gently shake them all to one corner, and it's best if it's opposite the feed corner, because you've got your slide gate there, and sometimes they like to pop behind that slide gate. So now that I've got them turned over the right way, I'm going to take my RCBS tray, and here's the little trick. And it's just a simple little trick, but if nobody shows you or tells you, it may take you a little while to figure it out. So if you will just get all those primers shifted to one corner and grab that corner, I'm going to have to prop the phone up because I need both hands to do this somehow. I'll make this work. Try this. Okay, this will work. So if you do that, and you get all those in the corner, and then you can clamp it with your hands, and that keeps some of this vibration from when you snap the lid shut from flipping the primers over. So now you just get it gripped right there where the primers are, snap it, make sure the slide gate is closed so you don't spill them like I did a while ago. Now all the primers stay turned right side up like they're supposed to. So just a little trick I thought I'd share. If you've ever spent 15 or 20 minutes with a tweezer picking these up and turning them over, or picking them out of the floor after you've accidentally shaken them and let them roll out, you might appreciate that little trick. It's worked well for me. Anyway.